Hello, and thank you for joining me for my weekly video briefing. This week, the Montgomery County Council selected new leadership, and I want to extend my congratulations to new Montgomery County Council President Gabe Albornoz and Vice President Evan Glass. As I've worked with both of them on numerous issues over the past 3 years, I look forward to working with them even more collaboratively over the next year. Gabe and Evan have been helpful partners and incredible leaders who are dedicated to serving this county. For the last 22 months, the executive and legislative branches have faced unprecedented challenges as we've instituted legislation and policies designed to protect our residents, businesses, and employees. Together, we took steps to ensure that our government operations did not stop during the pandemic, and we closely monitored our budget and spending. We also followed the science and data to guide us during the pandemic, and we have the highest vaccination rate among large jurisdictions throughout this country. And all of our work has been done and guided by an equity lens. We have provided food and physical relief to tens of thousands of families, provided year-round shelter to the homeless, and made our government to be more efficient, effective, and innovative while continuing to make progress in economic development, affordable housing, and combating climate change. And we've been successful because we've put the people of this county first. We have a lot to be proud of, but there's still more to do. I'm confident that we will build on our past success working with Council President Albornoz and Vice President Glass. As for our COVID-19 update, our testing was up 40% last week, which was expected following the Thanksgiving holidays. Sadly, our hospitalizations have also increased. This week will mark the second anniversary of when COVID-19 first appeared in Wuhan, China. In just 2 years, it is responsible for over 5.2 million deaths worldwide, nearly 800,000 deaths in the United States, including 1,737 deaths here in Montgomery County. These numbers are sobering and frustrating, as every time we believe the end of the pandemic is nearing, there is a new setback. I still remember back in May and June of the first year when we thought we were going to be open for the 4th of July, and that obviously did not happen. As a nation, we are currently seeing over 100,000 new cases per day. The vast majority are still the Delta variant, but now 50 countries and 19 states have the new Omicron variant present. We're beginning to get some preliminary data about Omicron from a report out of South Africa. Last weekend, Dr. Fauci said this data was encouraging, but cautioned that more information was needed to fully understand the variant. The bottom line right now is to make sure you and your family are vaccinated and that you get a booster if you're eligible. But every person who thinks COVID is over and life should be back to normal, that just isn't reality. It's not the reality we're facing. It's not the reality that's being faced by people around the world. Wishing it away, as some people have tried to do, and ignoring it did not and will not work. This is why getting vaccines and boosters is so important right now. The percent of our total population vaccinated continues to increase. According to the CDC, 81% of our residents are fully vaccinated and 94% have at least one dose. The newest eligible group, children aged 5 to 11, are continuing to get vaccinated, but the rate is slowing down. Over a third of our 5 to 11-year-olds have received at least one shot, which means that almost 2/3 of our children are not yet vaccinated. Protecting them from this virus is very important. So if you and your neighbors and friends have not gotten your child vaccinated, please do so as soon as possible. Go to our website to find a location to get a shot near you. I also want to continue to encourage all eligible adults to get their booster shots. We're up to over 230,000 booster shots provided. This represents over 20% of all boosters given throughout the state, which is good news. However, this is only about half of the residents that are currently eligible for boosters in the county. If it has been at least 6 months since your Pfizer or Moderna shots, or if it's been 2 months since you got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, you are eligible for a booster. As a reminder, a booster shot does not have to be the same vaccine as the original one. Mixing the vaccines has proven to be safe and effective. I got my booster and it was quick and easy. My first dose was J&J and my second dose was Pfizer. To find out where to get your booster shot or make a reservation, please go to govaxmoco.com. The best gift you can give your loved ones or yourself is to get a booster shot. This week we announced that our emergency rental assistance application portal will temporarily close at 5 p.m. Friday, December 31st. Applications submitted before the deadline will be reviewed and processed, but no additional applications will be received after that time in this portal. I want to emphasize that. A new round of rent relief funding is coming, and we are updating the application process and the eligibility criteria, and the reopening will be announced very early in 2022. Last month, I sent a supplemental budget request for an additional $34 million in emergency assistance funds for rental relief, and I'm glad the council approved it this week. I want to be clear that the current rental program is closing temporarily because of changes in the federal guidelines, but it will return and will hopefully be more user-friendly. People who are waiting, the money is still there to take care of you, and we anticipate that the existing federal and state funds will be used by people who've applied by the end of December anyway. In the meantime, we want to get the word out to renters so they can get their applications in before December 31st. Individuals who need assistance completing an application can call 311, and they'll be matched with a nonprofit partner or a staff member who can help. For more information, go to our rent relief portal on the county website at mc311.com/rent-relief. This week, we have some good news about our library hours. The hours of operations of all our branches except the Maggie Nightingale in Poolsville and the Noyes Library for Young Children will be open Monday through Thursday from 10 to 8 p.m. and from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I want to thank our staff, residents, and patrons of the library for their patience as we work to ensure that our libraries are COVID safe and accessible for both visitors and employees. So many of our residents rely on our libraries as gathering places, as well as for access to books and the internet. In more good news, it was announced that the new Global Pandemic Prevention and Biodefense Center will begin life in Montgomery County. The center's goal is to help prevent future outbreaks from becoming pandemics. Montgomery County is uniquely positioned to host the location for the center, which aims to harness the rich talent in critical health research, biotech, defense, and government assets required to deliver a full-scale response. I've been on the steering committee for the Pandemic Center since 2019, watched the proposal go, and was able to see this through the council, which provided funds for the beginning of the center in its current form. More news later as they work toward getting the center fully funded through the federal government. I want to thank Representative Jamie Raskin for convening a food resiliency roundtable at the Tacoma Park Presbyterian Church on Monday. Joining Congressman Raskin was House Rules Committee Chairman Representative Jim McGovern from Massachusetts, along with food resource providers and advocates. I was honored to be part of this important discussion as we discuss challenges we are facing regarding recipients in need of food, the organizations distributing food, and the political and logistical obstacles on Capitol Hill, and there are many. Food insecurity has been called the disaster within a disaster during the past 22 months. I'd add rental problems to that list as well. The pandemic has brought our food security needs into greater focus, but the problem was with us before COVID-19 arrived. To tackle this enormous increase in demand, we created the Food Security Task Force last year to actively work to respond to the food insecurity crisis facing our community. We believe that it is critical that the county preserve the progress made during the pandemic and build on lessons learned instead of simply return to a pre-COVID food system in this county. Specifically, we're going to establish a new Office of Food System Resilience to tackle the long-term and big-picture changes needed to meaningfully improve the food system and make permanent the coordination efforts with nonprofit partners that grew out of COVID-19. This week, I participated in an effort urging homeowners to be salt-wise and use less salt on sidewalks and driveways during winter storms. Salt runs off into storm drains, local streams, and eventually to the Potomac and Patuxent rivers, which are our drinking water resources for 1.8 million people in Montgomery and Prince George's counties. Salt can corrode concrete, masonry, harm pets, damage surrounding plants, lawns, and adversely impact the water supply. In fact, the filters at the water processing plants don't remove the salt from the water, so our water gets more salty during the winter. We want homeowners to understand that oversalting does not make sidewalks or driveways any safer. Rather, it puts our water ecosystem at greater long-term risk of damage. We saw our first snowflakes in the county over the past couple of weeks, and we know more are coming. I encourage everyone to be prepared for winter weather, keep alert about incoming storms, and make sure your home is prepared in case you lose power. If you haven't already signed up for emergency alerts, please do. Just go to the county website and sign up. Thank you, and have a great week.